Hi everyone, welcome to Flow with Melo. I'm Melody, and today we have a 60-minute yin yoga practice with no props. So all you need is yourself and your mat, and let's get started. So we will start in a child's pose. So bringing the big toes to touch, the knees wide, maybe as wide as your mat or as wide as you prefer. Bringing your forehead on the mat. So arms in front of you. And right away here in your child's pose, I invite you to start bringing your awareness on your breath. Visualizing your belly expand as you breathe in. And then your shoulders, your arms, your forehead relax onto the mat as you exhale. Really taking this moment to arrive on the mat and arrive right here, right now, in the present moment. So, thanking yourself for taking this time for yourself. Thank you for showing up. Giving yourself permission to fully arrive and sink into the practice. Really let it be a moment for you where you allow yourself to relax and connect with your breath. So if you wish to do Ujjayi breath, you can start to slightly constrict the back of your throat as you exhale. So our Ujjayi breath, we want to create like a wind sound or an ocean sound with our breath. So we can start to hear our breath, hear our exhales. So this can become really soothing and calming. So sometimes when we have a busy mind, and our thoughts arrive, we can just acknowledge them and then simply come back to the breath, to hearing our breath. You can slightly bend the elbows, making sure you're creating some space between the shoulders and the ears. And really visualize melting down, sinking the hips back, releasing the weight of the body into the mat. So as you know, in Yin, we hold the poses for a few minutes. So we can really enjoy being here, Really releasing our lower back, creating some good stress in our joints so that we can really work with the fascia, the ligaments, the tendons, giving them a little bit of love. We allow our muscles to relax. On your next inhale, slowly start to press into your hands, really taking your time coming to your belly, so moving the weight of your body forward on your forearm. Very gently extend the legs. Coming to your belly in a crocodile pose, bringing the hands on top of each other, forehead on the palms. Notice here the sensations happening in the body. The fluids, the blood, the circulation happening in the hips, the knees, the ankles. So coming into a rebound. Letting the body absorb the benefits of the pose, feeling the energy flowing. And slowly we'll come into a sphinx, bringing our elbows underneath our shoulders. So in sphinx, we can think of relaxing the shoulders, bringing them down and back. Gently bringing our chin towards our sternum to lengthen the cervical spine, the back of the neck. Remembering that in yin, less is more. So we can releasing the shoulders down. We can gently press our pubic bone into the mat and the top of our feet. If we ever feel like we start to sink down, we can lengthen the crown of the head to the sky. Bring our focus back to our breath. So Sphinx pose is really good for our posture. So if we spend a lot of time seated on chairs, cars, this is really good as it really opens the front body. You can think of broadening the collarbones and like bringing the shoulder blades closer together. It also gives a good stretch to our whole front body. So you can imagine that you're giving your core muscles a little stretch. And that you're strengthening the back muscles in this posture. Now, if you want to have a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can always press into your hands, extend the arms, coming into a seal pose. But this is really optional. You can also stay in Sphinx for a few more breaths. And on your next exhale, we'll roll down one vertebra at a time, bringing our forehead on our hands back to crocodile pose. Really, this time thinking of releasing the back body, the upper body. Now from here, we'll bring our hands in a cactus. So making sure that the elbow is in line with the shoulder, and we'll start on the right side. So we'll roll gently to the right. You can always bend your left leg. So a variation of puppy rest. So we really want to stretch the whole right arm, the pecs of and the shoulders. Again, really good for the posture to open the front body. And relaxing your cheek on the mat. You also have the option here to extend the right arm. So if you prefer having a straight arm, you can always do this. You can also try to grab your right arm with your left arm, or maybe bring the left arm simply behind your back. If you wish to find a deeper stretch. But this is really all about finding your edge and staying in the pose, holding it. Remembering that less is more. And now from here, come back to your belly. Keep bringing your left knee to the side. We'll come into a variation of tree pose, so reclined tree. So this time you can bring both arms and stay here, laying down on the belly. Finding a gentle opening in the inner left thigh. If you wish to switch cheek, you can always turn your head whichever way feels more comfortable. So here you can visualize that you're giving a big hug to your yoga mat, saying thank you yoga mat, thank you yoga practice, maybe for giving me this opportunity to rest and take some time for myself. Taking time to take care of my connective tissues, my hips, my back, giving love to the whole body. And from here we'll extend the leg back, this time bringing both arms by your side, and you can again switch cheek, whichever feels more comfortable. And I invite you here to observe the sensations happening in the body and observe the difference between the right arm and the left arm. And now the sensations in the legs and the difference maybe between the left and the right side. And we'll come back bringing the left arm this time, left elbow in line with the shoulder, and we'll gently roll on to our right side. Again, in this variation of puppy rest, you can bend the arms, you can extend the arms. You can also bring your right arm behind you, like trying to grab your other hand. I'm going to keep my elbow bent and lift the right knee to the sky. So finding whatever works best for you. And as we hold the pose here, can you maybe notice the breath, feel the breath coming in and out through the nostrils. Again, feeling the belly expand as you breathe in. And both shoulders relax as you exhale. And softly rolling back to the belly. Right knee leads the way and coming into this variation of tree. So your right knee is to the right. Your ankle is in line with your knee. Keeping again both hands in cactus. And bringing one cheek to the ground. So as we're here again in this image of giving a big hug to the mat or to the ground, I invite you to think of the feeling of gratitude. Maybe invite the sensation of gratitude to come into the body. And just questioning, what do you feel grateful for? So it doesn't have to be the yoga practice or the mat, but just invite the idea of it. What are you grateful for? Or maybe who are you grateful for? And slowly bringing your forehead back to center wherever you are. And extending the right leg back. Bring your hands next to your rib cage. Slowly push yourself back into a child's pose for a few breaths. And walking your hands towards you, coming to sit on the heels, coming into a toe stretch. So you can tuck the 10 toes under, coming to sit on the heels. So this pose is really good to stretch all the fascia behind the foot. So we're really giving love here to our feet. They support us every day. So thank you so much, feet. So it's normal if this pose can sometimes be really intense. If it hurts, you can always come out, but notice the sensations happening in the pose. So really feeling the stretch underneath the toes. So we rarely take the time to do this stretch, but it's actually really, really good for our feet. We can also add a stretch to the arms here. So you can maybe bring your arms in eagle pose. So this is good to release all the back body, broadening the shoulders. So you can swing the right arm underneath the left, bring the palms together. And if this is too much, you can also bring your hands in a hug. So as if you were giving yourself a hug. And if we're in eagle pose here, we can think of lifting the elbows up, bringing the hands away from our face. So really stretching the back of the shoulders here. And slowly we'll swing the arms to the side. Reverse, this time bringing the left arm underneath the right. You can again give yourself a hug here. Palms together as you inhale, lift the elbows up and the hands away from your face. And coming back to the breath. And on our next exhale, release. Bring the hands in front of you. Lift the hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. Bending the knees generously here. So releasing the stretch in the toes. And this time finding the stretch in the whole back of the legs. And we'll slowly lift the right leg a little bit, bringing your right knee next to your right hand for our pigeon pose, or swan pose. So you can stay up, your upper body up, or coming to lay down, sleeping swan, 4 hands on the mat. Now, if this variation doesn't feel comfortable, you can always come into a square where your ankle is in line with your knees, and then you can find a gentle forward fold. So here in this variation, so coming back into swan, you want to think of having both hips facing the mat. And you can always stack your hands to give a little support to your forehead. And slowly pressing the hands down, we'll come back into our child's downward facing dog. Extending both legs, sending the hips back. And this time lifting the left leg. And bend the knee, bringing your knee next to your left hand. Swan pose, other side. So again, finding your variation. You can keep the upper body up a little bit. Finding your square with the left leg on top this time, or coming into a sleeping swan. So we're trying to relax the muscles here. Coming back to the breath. Visualizing that we're taking deep belly breaths. And you can come back to the Ujjayi breath, so the ocean sound. So you're hearing your exhales. And slowly walk your upper body up. If you're in a swan, sit on your left hip. We'll swing the right leg slowly forward. So if you're in square, extend both legs in front of you, and we'll all be doing a few rounds of windshield wipers. So you want to let the knees fall to the right, inhale, lift, and exhale, lift the knees fall to the left. Releasing the hips. And we'll come into a dragonfly pose, so we'll extend the legs. And gently bow forward. So it doesn't have, again, to be this very intense stretch. You can slightly bring your upper body up and stay here on your hands if this is already, if you're feeling something already. So we don't have props, but we don't need to go as far. Of course, if you do have props, though, you can always use them. A good way in this pose, if you feel like you're really rounded and you can't go any further, you can always sit on something. So sit on a block. So elevating the hips can really help to find a little bit more range of motion in the pose. Again, if thoughts come, notice if you can acknowledge them without judging and coming back to the breath. Filling the belly with air, hearing your exhales. Again, coming back maybe to this sense of gratitude. So sometimes the mind or the human, we tend to focus on the things that we want or don't have, and we all do this. But a good way to come back and really connect with ourselves is to think of gratitude and all the things that we are grateful for, all the things that we have and all the things that we are. And slowly coming back up. We can help ourselves with our arms to slowly close our legs. We'll come into a short Shavasana for our rebound. So legs in front of you, coming to lay down on your back. And notice here the sensations happening in the body. And how does your legs feel, your hips? What is happening? Can you feel energy flowing? And do you hear your breath? Do you feel calm or grounded? Do you feel alive? Just observe. And slowly roll on one side. Taking your time coming back to seated for our Gomukhasana pose. So we will cross our right leg on top of the left. So making sure our knees are in line. So this is a really good pose to release in the hips. So we work the hips a lot. So finishing with Gomukhasana can really be beneficial. You can bring your hands on your feet and maybe give your feet a little massage if you want to do so. Again, thank you, feet, for supporting us every day. And here in our Gomukhasana, you can stay here with a long spine, or if this is already stretching, or you can slightly bow forward towards your knees, trying to make sure that both sits bones stay grounded into the mat. If you want to have a deeper variation in the pose, you can always bring Gomukhasana arms, so right hand behind you and left hand with the elbow up, left hand behind you, elbow down. You can reach for your opposite fingers. This is of course always good to do with a strap. I know I can't reach my fingers, but you can also stay here, feeling the stretch maybe in the right shoulder. Yeah, bowing to the knees. wherever you are, slowly coming up to a long spine. And here we'll come into our dancing cow. So we'll slowly turn towards your right leg. So follow your right leg, look towards your right foot, bring your hands in front of you. Now you want to press your feet down and not move the feet. So just press the feet down into the mat. Turn slowly, lift your knees, keep turning, and you're on the other side. You can adjust the pose, so making sure the knees are on top of each other, grounding the sits bones down. Again, bringing the hands on your feet. You can use your knuckles to do little movements here, giving a little foot massage. You can also massage the toes. Again, finding your variation. You can stay sitting tall, finding Gomukhasana arms for a deeper stretch in the shoulders. And you can also bow towards your knees. So this is our last seated posture. Notice where the mind goes, maybe if a pose gets a little challenging. So can we be grateful even if it is challenging? So taking these little ideas from our yoga practice and bringing them into our daily life. So sometimes it is not easy to be grateful when things are hard. But things become less hard when we're grateful for them. Food for thoughts. Coming back to the breath. Releasing the weight of the upper body with every exhale. Slowly coming back up. This time send your weight back. Bring your hands behind you. Lift your knees. We'll uncross the legs. You can do a few rounds of windshield wipers. Again, letting your knees fall to the side. And we'll make our way onto our back. Here you can hold on to, as you lay down, hold on to your right knee or bring your right knee towards you. Make little circles with the ankle. Extend the leg. Maybe a little circle with the ankle, other side. And coming for a rebound. Staying here for a few breaths with the legs long. I invite you to close your eyes. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can also bring your right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart. Enjoying, giving yourself permission to enjoy the rebound. Coming back to the breath. Feel your hand lift as you breathe in, noticing the belly move. Can you take maybe a deeper inhale and a longer exhale? Or you can bring your arms by your sides. Coming into our last pose, Shavasana. Gently bringing the awareness back to the body, starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes, the wrist and the ankles, the arms and legs. Taking your time, you can roll on to one side, pushing yourself up. Slowly, you can take a few breaths before pushing yourself up. Coming back to a comfortable seat of your choice. You can bring your hands at your heart center, palms together. I invite you here to keep your eyes closed and to finish with this sense of gratitude. I hope that you can invite this sensation to be present. Maybe thinking of things that you're grateful for. Maybe thank yourself for coming into the practice, for showing up. Bringing your hands to your forehead. Thank you for practicing with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.